Did you know that in hetero relationships, 80% of divorces are initiated by women? And that number jumps to about 90% for college educated women. This is really eye opening, right? And it's something that I think would be important to pay more attention to. So I want to go over one of the common patterns in the lead up to the dissolution of a marriage or long term relationship in case it's helpful. So the responsibility of monitoring the emotional connection of the relationship usually falls on women, even though men are equally capable of taking this on. And it would actually be better for both men and women if they share the responsibility. When a woman feels disconnected from her partner, it causes her a lot of pain, and she's likely to come forward to say some version of, I'm not happy, I feel lonely in the relationship, I feel disconnected from you. This is when there's a window of opportunity to do something to resolve the issue and to maybe save your relationship. Unfortunately, what usually happens is that women will be told, you're crazy, you're going through a phase, and dismissed. Or if you're in a relationship with a kind and loving man like I was, you may actually be met with a lot of compassion in the moment. And he may say something like, I hate hearing this. It makes me feel so sad that you feel this way. And so you think you've been heard. But if no actions follow the words to rise up and meet them with integrity, you have not been heard. And if you come forward again in a matter of months or years for some women to revisit it and say again that you're not happy, and then still nothing is done about it, what happens for women is internally something shifts and they lose hope. And they get to a place where they feel like their only pathway to happiness is to leave the relationship, the marriage, as sad as that is. And here's the part of this pattern that really blows my mind. That when the woman summons the courage to tell her partner, I can't do this anymore, I'm so unhappy, I think I need to leave, he feels that he's been blindsided. And he describes it this way afterwards. This is genuinely how he feels. You will hear men say that they felt like a bomb went off, they felt blindsided, they felt like the rug was pulled out from under them. They had no idea that this was coming, even though she'd been really clear that she'd been unhappy in the relationship.
You know, guys, people in the modern day seem to have gotten the idea in their head that marriage was just something that you could throw out the window on a whim. Right? We get married and hey, it's not till death do us part. You know, no long relationships, guys, no caring for your family, no building a relationship that actually lasts or sustains itself. No. See, guys, these girls, they're not happy in marriages apparently. So we as the men obviously have to go out here and, you know, make them happy. Guys, whenever girls talk like this, you'll notice that when they talk about relationships, it's always in the way that it's always the man's fault, right? The man's not doing emotional labor in the relationship and she's just not happy. Guys, marriages are work, okay? I find it so absolutely disgusting that these girls seem to think, okay, well, I'm not happy with John, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up our marriage and kind of go somewhere else. Guys, this is why nothing lasts anymore. And you know what? As we see the marriage statistics begin to plummet, gentlemen, I can only feel happy about it as more and more men are refusing to marry. Guys, we're going to be taking a look at some TikToks as well as some statistics today, guys. So make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments as we get into today's video. Now, before we jump into the TikToks, guys, I just want to highlight a few things for you, okay? Men risk absolutely everything in marriages, whether that be kids, assets, money, whatever, sanity, okay? Now take a look at this. 60% of sex, wait. Researchers estimate that 41% of all first marriages end in divorce, 60% of second marriages end in divorce, 73% of all third marriages end in divorce. Guys, this is not a game. You know, this is not something where you can just go out here as a man and risk these things because there are some serious consequences. But gentlemen, let's jump into the TikToks. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments. And without further ado, let's jump into the video.
Why do you think guys no longer want to get married?
Ooh, I'm gonna answer this one.
First of all, we have to look at the statistic. 50% of all marriages end in divorce. 70%.
And here's the thing as well, right? Is like, even if your marriage doesn't end in divorce, what's the odds that it's actually going to be, you know, that, for example, if you're a dude and you're in a marriage, what's the odds that your wife doesn't treat you like garbage and just treats you like somebody that they can use, no intimacy or anything like that, right? She'll blame it on her past and how difficult it is. We all know this, guys. Like, if you're a dude and you give up more and more commitment in a relationship, you'll notice that women typically, you know, rescind their intimacy as you give up more commitment. If you don't believe me, guys, go out there, offer your girl a ring, and then see what happens once she's got the ring on her finger.
Of those divorces are initiated by women. The family court system is notoriously unfair towards men, especially when it comes to child custody rights. Let's put it another way. If we had a coin, and heads meant that you win $1 million, tails meant that you lose everything: your car, your phone, your home, your money, your job, everything.
Your children, I'll add on top of that, okay? Like, it's not even just like the materialistic things, guys, that you risk when you get married or, you know, have these long-term relationships because of common law, depending on where you live, what state you live in, right? You actually, you know, you risk your kids on top of that too if you have them as well.
Would you take it? Most people reasonably wouldn't take that deal. So maybe, just maybe, it's not meant. Maybe there's a scarcity of women who are marriage material, and maybe men are apprehensive about a judicial system that doesn't favor them. And that has nothing to do with men going their own way. It has everything to do with men making smarter decisions about their future.
Yeah, you try and tell that to the woke mob on Twitter and see how that goes, right? Anything using your common sense as a man in 2022 is literally just shamed. Like, you see what that guy's saying, guys, where it's just common sense, but society will tell you that you're being insecure or you're just intimidated and stuff like that. Society will literally try and bully you as a dude into giving up this commitment.
Are you on? Are you watching us? What do you think about us going out and getting laid? We're leaving right now. I'm talking to your ex-wife. You got mouthwash? Bye, bitch. Fuck you.
You know, people will say that, like, dudes are creepy, right? But guys, like, I tell you what, these girls are out here. If you guys don't think that girls snoop and pry on your life, I don't know what to tell you. If you've been in a relationship with a woman, right, and then that relationship ends, oh, she'll still be checking your social media. Like, guys, like, absolutely guarantee it. These girls, they know everything about everything to do with the dudes that have been in their life. Like, I kid you not, guys. Like, they'll know your family better than you. They'll know your family tree, right? And who you've dated in the past better than you will, okay? Like, they'll know your cousin, they'll know, like, these girls, guys, they literally spend hours on their phones, right? Going through Instagram and all this kind of stuff and doing sneaky crap like that on apps, right? That right there said, if you guys missed that, it says, when your marriage only lasts a week and the streets are calling. Yeah, okay.
Did you know that in hetero relationships, 80% of divorces are initiated by women? And that number jumps to about 90% for college-educated women. This is really eye-opening, right? And
we've covered this woman on the channel before, guys. Like, my editor put this in, so I figured we'd recover it. And a lot of you guys have sent this into the show, so we're going to go over this one again, okay? But this woman is an absolute clown. And the reason that I say that is because I want you to notice how she takes the fact that the majority of divorces are initiated by women, and she'll blame it on the men, right? Women, guys, I tell you what, in long-term relationships, they struggle to be happy, right? A lot of girls, they'll go out here, they'll go from guy to guy, you know, they'll get a body count in the, you know, high in the double digits, in the triple digits. Yes, I'm being serious, right? And, you know, they'll come into a relationship and they can never be happy. It's like, this is one of the reasons why that society is just going so downhill, gentlemen, is everybody is just like obsessed with instant gratification, right? Oh, you know, Jim doesn't do this for me, so I might go talk to John instead. But guys, like, it's not the men. Seriously, it's absolutely not the men. Men are not hard to keep happy. It's so ridiculous, man. But these girls, watch how she'll make the argument that it's the emotional labor that's the issue. Get out of here, man.
something that I think would be important to pay more attention to. So I want to go over one of the common patterns in the lead up to the dissolution of a marriage or long-term relationship in case it's helpful. So the responsibility of monitoring the emotional connection of the relationship usually falls on women, even.
I love using ambiguous language, guys, because you know what? If you use ambiguous clown world language, it basically means that you can shift it to literally anything, right? Oh, women do the majority of the emotional connection monitoring in the relationship. Okay, men do the majority of paying the bills. You notice how one of those things is real, guys? You know, like one of those things actually exists. But we just live in this clown world where, oh yeah, I'm doing the emotional monitoring of the connection in the relation. Shut up. You know, geez, man.
Even though men are equally capable of taking this on, and it would actually be better for both men and women if they share the responsibility.
Yeah, so guys, if you go out there and you manage the emotional connection with your woman, trust me, guys, the relationship is going to go a lot better. No, see, this is the clown world advice that doesn't actually work. Guys, if you have a long-term girlfriend, hell, if you have a girlfriend or, put it this way, if you have a girl that you're seeing, right, and maybe you haven't given her a relationship yet, and you start being emotionally open with her, and you start, talking, you talk to her as if you don't know where you stand. So like, oh, are we going to be in a relationship, or, where are we at emotionally? How do you feel about me? You start to manage the emotional connection of the relationship. Watch that absolutely repulse the woman, guys. Right? If you're out there in a marriage, in a long-term relationship, in a regular relationship, and you're saying, oh, how do you feel about me? Do you care about me? I just feel like we're drifting apart. Is everything okay? If you start to say crap like that, guys, women will literally just run from you, right? That's why this advice is so damn disgusting. And we went over this woman a little while ago, guys, and she literally is like a marriage coach, like a relationship coach, if you can believe it. Like, this woman charges some serious money from memory for her coaching services, and right off the bat, she's just saying completely ineffectual things, right? Guys, it bothers me, man, that these people actually don't say anything with utility. Like all these, like, oh yeah, I'm a dating coach, right? And they just tell you, yeah, I just want a nice guy who's going to be a gentleman, right? And that's going to get you girls in 2022. Yeah, okay.
When a woman feels disconnected from her partner, it causes her a lot of pain. And she's likely to come forward to say some version of, I'm not happy, I feel lonely in the relationship, I feel disconnected from you. This is when there's a window of opportunity to do something to resolve the issue and to maybe save your relationship.
No. Yeah, see, that's where a lot of guys go wrong, right? Here's the funny thing. We did a video very early on this channel, guys. Like, it was must have been one of the first ones that really took off on this channel. And what happens, guys, is women will be in a relationship, and they'll be in that relationship for 2 years, and they'll be crying, oh, I just want you to give me more attention. Why do you hang out with your guy friends instead of me so much? Why do you prioritize everything above me? And that'll go on for 2 years. Like in that girl's case, from very early on one of the videos, it went on for a long period of time. And then when the guy turned around and he started to prioritize the girl and whatever, guess what, guys? The relationship evaporated. And then she went out and she found a new guy who she could have bedroom fun with. You see, this is how it works, guys, is women will complain about not being happy, not being happy, not being happy. And then if you make them priority number one, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. Girls do not like feeling the pressure of being your number one, like the thing that you put first. They absolutely hate it. I don't care how many times they make videos complaining about it, guys. That's the absolute truth.
Unfortunately, what usually happens is that women will be told, you're crazy, you're going through a phase, and dismissed. Or if you're in a relationship with a kind and loving man like I was, you may actually be met with a lot of compassion in the moment. And he may say something like, I hate hearing this. It makes me feel so sad that you feel this way. And so you think you've been heard. But if no actions follow the words to rise up and meet them with integrity, you have not been heard.
You gotta love, right, how she complains about the guy not doing the emotional labor in the relationship. And then she talks about how she previously had a guy who was doing the emotional labor, and lo and behold, guys, where is he now? You see what I'm saying? You see, guys, like, if we were to play that back, if you play that back on your video, guys, I won't go back in the video just in case, like, people want to keep watching and move it on. But if you go back and you watch that clip right there, that man that she just described was attempting to do the emotional labor, and would you guess it, guys, he's no longer there. This is what I'm talking about, guys, is like these girls will say that they want one thing, and then as soon as they get it, they just leave the guy in the dust. It's ridiculous, right? And this woman, again, is like a relationship coach, guys.
And if you come forward again in a matter of months or years for some women to revisit it and say again that you're not happy, and then still nothing is done about it, what happens for women is internally something shifts and they lose hope.
If you are in a see, this is something that should have been solved a long time ago, right? But it's so disgusting, right? These girls will be in a relationship for like months and years, but hell, before they even get married. And, you know, it's stupid to see that these girls will sit in a relationship where they quote unquote feel unhappy and then like bring it up periodically, months and months apart, and then just decide to divorce you in the end. It's like you would know this before you even got married, okay? And if you're doing this after you get married, sorry, marriage is not a thing where you go, oh, I feel unhappy, so I'm going to leave now. And then you can't specify why, right? The reason why these girls are repulsed by the relationships a lot of times is because they pussify the guy, essentially, is what they do. That's what they do, guys. They try and train their man into being a whip dude who does whatever the hell she wants and doesn't respect themselves. And then when they finally train the guy into being that, then they leave. That's literally the process of it. And guys, like anyone who calls themselves a relationship coach, like this woman doesn't seem to be married and seems to be divorced from what I understand. So why is she a relationship coach? You are unsuccessful. You are, I don't know what age you are, but you don't have a husband, and yet you're here coaching people on how to have successful relationships. It's like you don't even meet the criteria of having a successful relationship, right? If you get to this age and you still don't have a man, you failed at relationships. Like, I'm sorry, you did. You don't get to call yourself a relationship coach. You don't get to charge money for your services because you have failed. You have failed. That's what it is.
And they get to a place where they feel like their only pathway to happiness is to leave the relationship, the marriage, as sad as that is. And here's the part of this pattern that really blows my mind. That when the woman summons the courage to tell her partner, I can't do this anymore, I'm so unhappy, I think I need to leave.
Yeah, okay, go then. Get out. Get out. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand, man. Is like when girls are like, if you're a guy and you've ever been casually dating, right? Girls will oftentimes say crap like this. She'll say, "Oh, I feel like we should stop talking," right? Or like, "Oh, I'm unhappy. I feel like we should stop talking." You know, just say, "Okay, bye." Like, if you're not happy, hey, I'm not interested. You know, and if you're not happy, that's totally cool. You can leave. But where guys go wrong, guys, is they sit there and they go, okay, well, I'm going to start doing anything in my power to make you happy. And that's when the girl goes, oh, he doesn't respect himself. He gave in. I'm out. Right? Like, these girls will sit there and complain, guys. And all I have to say is, like, that's fantastic. You can leave then. Nobody's forcing you to stay. Okay, you clearly don't respect marriage. Just go. The streets are out there. You go have fun. You go to those clubs and everything. I'm going to be here away from you, so good luck.
He feels that he's been blindsided, and he describes it this way afterwards. This is genuinely how he feels. You will hear men say that they felt like a bomb went off, they felt blindsided, they felt like the rug was pulled out from under them.
And do you know why men say that? It's because that's what happened, right? Like, I don't understand why she's so confused here. Guys feel like the rug was pulled out from under them because it was. Girls will literally just go, oh, I'm unhappy, I think I want a divorce, out of the blue, after, literally in her own words, guys, after months or years in the relationship, girls in her own words will say, I'm not happy, I think I need to leave this relationship to be happy. That's her own words, guys. So yeah, guys feel like the rug's been pulled out from under them because that's what you're doing. Like, oh my word, man.
They had no idea that this was coming, even though she'd been really clear that she'd been unhappy in the relationship.
Guys, let them be for the streets. That's really all I have to say for that. That's so, like, videos like that absolutely disgust me, guys. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, guys, you know, trust her on that one. Okay, look at these things. It's like basically just do what I want is what it is. Get your wife a snack. If you think to yourself she probably doesn't want one, get one anyway. Your wife will never argue with you if you're cleaning. Okay, try doing it the way your wife told you to. Like, these girls have never been told no, man. Never.
But she says, let's just be friends. Tell her, no, I don't want to be just friends. Entering a friendship with someone that you are attracted to is a very bad idea. It's going to destroy you mentally. And you're just deluding yourself, because she's not going to flip around and suddenly find you attractive anyway. And even if by some miracle over the years, you do end up in a romantic relationship with her because, well, she decides to settle down out of lack of options for you, the nice guy, you are entering a relationship that you shouldn't want to be in because she had no initial attraction to you. This is a very, very unhealthy basis for a relationship. She will probably never really respect you as a man, and you will probably always see her as better than yourself. You deserve better than that. Have the guts to tell her no.
And guys, that's what a lot of girls these days will try and do, right? Is because what a lot of guys don't realize is that your attention and your time is actually valuable, and girls will use you for those two things. Like, that's literally the default. When you enter into these relationships, guys, please, hell, even if you don't enter into relationships at all, please value your attention and your time. Because, like, I tell you what, guys, girls, they love the free attention. Okay, nothing is better for them than the free attention. So they'll try and just be friends, and I can't go out today because it's raining, or like she'll give you some dumb excuse, guys. Like, if you ask a girl out, man, and this is for the dudes who are dating, I know we got a whole bunch of different dudes, right? If you're a dude who's dating and the answer is anything other than an enthusiastic yes, just save your attention. Just don't give her any attention anymore, guys. Like, just completely leave it, because these girls will literally just use you for your attention and your time, refuse to meet up with you. And even if they do, they might have no desire to be they might not even be attracted to you. So guys, start to value your time and attention and money too. Don't be taking these girls out to like $200 dinner dates or crap like that.
Man, this should make me...
So why do women turn to the internet for attention and validation when you get in an argument? Well, the first reason that they do it is because they know when they post, you're going to see it and you're going to get jealous and see all the other men interacting with it. And the second thing is, she either feels like you can't communicate or she can't communicate effectively, so instead of having a conversation about it, she turns to the internet to get her strokes because she's not getting that from you.
It's interesting, right? He made sense up until like the last part right there. And to blame this on dudes is really quite ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, if you have if you get into an argument with your girl and then she posts spicy photos online, don't look at it like, oh, I should have communicated better. How about she just gets the hell out of the relationship? How about you just boot her to the curb? You know what I mean? Like, because that's not something that you should be doing, but this is something that's totally normalized in society right now, guys, where it's like, okay, if your dude doesn't give you what you want, then get on social media and try and manipulate him into giving you what you want. I think it's really gross, guys. Absolutely gross. And the fact of the matter is that to blame this on guys, I really don't think is particularly useful.
You're going to see it and you're going to get jealous and see all the other men interacting with it. And the second thing is, she either feels like you can't communicate or she can't communicate effectively, so instead of having a conversation about it, she turns to the internet to get her strokes because she's not getting that from you.
This man has one of the most disgusting personalities I've ever encountered. He's rude, he's narcissistic, he can't read. Would I like to hang out with him? No. Would I sleep with him? Yeah, big time.
A lot of girls who find themselves in long-term relationships, marriages and stuff like that, they don't really talk like that right at the end there. I don't know if that was sarcasm or what the hell was going on there. But a lot of the times when you enter into these long-term relationships as a man, girls tend to treat you worse off. Right? They absolutely do, especially if you start to really listen and go, oh yeah, especially if you take it as your responsibility to try and make these girls happy, guys. It is not your responsibility to go out there and try and make these girls happy, because let's just call it for what it is. A lot of them cannot be happy no matter what anyway. You know, I see dudes like, you know, throwing money at these girls, showing their time, attention, resources, their focus when they have better things to be doing into these girls, and it doesn't do literally anything, right? A lot of these people, guys, let's just, you know, just be straight up about it. They're doomed to never be happy. Okay, it's all about that dopamine hit. What's the interesting next thing that she can go to? You know, what's the next guy that she can go to? What's the next experience that she can go to? And that's really quite sad, guys, because what that has essentially done is destabilize the family unit. Right, if you look at marriage in the West, guys, as its success has declined, so too has the family structure, gentlemen. We see so many families out here at the moment that are just totally broken, right, where there's no father in the household typically. The mother's a single mother with tattoos, right? She's going out here, she's seeing different dudes. She's complaining about the fact that she can't find commitment, guys. And it's like, the truth of the matter is, like, why would any guy want to commit to her at all? Okay, but guys, let's take a look at some of today's Reddit stories, and these are pretty disgusting. So let's jump into this first one right here. And again, thank you guys for submitting these into the show. This first one here is titled, I am a 40-year-old and I haven't dated for 2 years, and for the first time in my life, I felt at peace with it. And this is from Storytime. This is a 40-year-old woman. As the title says, back in my pre-idiot subreddit days, I thought I had pretty high standards, but the truth is I let men play me. I even once pursued a guy because I really thought that he was into me. He wasn't, he just liked the attention. When I was in my early 30s, I went through a very painful divorce. He cheated and was lazy and selfish. I was panicking that I would be single forever and cried a lot. I did lower my standards and met/dated some effing weirdos. Awful. So anyway, since discovering this subreddit and having extremely high standards, surprise, surprise, no man I've met can reach them. And you know what? That is okay. I am truly set for life now. I live in a large old Victorian flat in a nice area, which is clean and tidy at all times. I'm also mortgage free, which feels amazing. I have a decent IT career and looking to specialize, which means a bunch of studying and a big exam, which I'm able to do as I don't have to devote all of my spare time to a partner. I'm not telling you ladies not to get out there and try to date, but if like me, you've had back-to-back scumbags and users, don't feel too cast down or disheartened if you choose to be alone. It's absolutely liberating. It's the first time in my life that I felt at peace, and I have no intentions of dating again for the rest of my life. P.S. I'm from the UK, so I'm not ashamed of being unmarried and childless, thank God. Although it would be good if this was normalized, if not encouraged. Guys, just a few things to take away from here. If you're a 40-plus-year-old girl and you haven't, you notice how these girls, they'll talk about, oh, you know, my standards are so high, and then you look at their dating history, guys, and it's nothing but dudes that cheat on them. Really, really high standards you've got there that you've set for yourself. But what you'll notice, guys, is when these girls say that they've got high standards, they don't have any standards for the dudes that they're actually attracted to. They have no standards at all. That guy can tell her to come over at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night. She'll sit there. She'll spend 30 minutes putting on her makeup as quickly as she possibly can, you know, rushing out of the house, driving in a thunderstorm over to that dude's house because she's actually attracted to him. But you see, guys, the dudes who actually give a crap about these girls, this is the really insidious thing, okay? The guys that actually care and want to be a healthy relationship for these women, want to go out there and actually find a long-term girlfriend who they want to respect and all this kind of stuff, those men are in for a rude awakening because they're held to a very, very, very high quote-unquote standard. Like, oh, he has to pay for everything, you know, he has to be kind, he has to like children, he has to be tall, he has to hit the gym, he has to be healthy, he has to like dogs and cats, you know, he has to do good cooking, like all these kind of things that guy has to do. But Chad, on the other hand, oh no, he doesn't have to do a damn thing. Right? That's why I always laugh, guys, when I hear these girls talk about I have high standards. It's like, really? Really, you have high standards and the last 3 guys have cheated on you and you have a failed marriage. Yeah, fantastic standards that you've set there, your highness, okay? These girls, guys, they have no clue. They have absolutely no clue. It's kind of like that meme where that girl is telling the story right there about how she's so happy. And I don't know what the meme is called, but it's like a dude and he's like crying behind the mask. You know, that I don't know what the hell it's called, but the guy's like, the mask is smiling and he looks really happy, but behind it, he's like crying and totally infuriated. That's what I imagine these girls, you know, who are 40 plus years old and they're like, you know, I don't need a man, you know, as she sits there crying at 2 a.m. with her cats, guys. That's literally what these girls are in for as they continue to go down these paths. But let's continue into some more of these subreddits because they are absolutely hilarious. Okay, this one's a bit gross, okay? This one right here is titled, Update. Wife and I agreed to an open relationship for hookups. Now I am in love with somebody else. So I got a lot of advice on my post, and for that I am very grateful. A lot of you called me out too regarding crossing boundaries, and I think you guys were right. I have been thinking a lot in the past 2 to 3 days. Perhaps I should have done more thinking when we decided to open our relationship up, but that's water under the bridge. Anyways, I have reached 2 conclusions about myself. I am not polyamorous, and I have very low self-esteem. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I said yes to the open relationship was because I didn't want to lose my wife. She was my first serious girlfriend and we got married when I was 23. So when the topic of an open relationship came up and I realized that my wife is very enthusiastic about the idea, I did the only thing I could to keep her happy and stay married. Agree to the open relationship. This is disgusting. This is so gross, man. Dudes need to have more of a backbone. Like, I'm just going to straight up say it, guys. Like, we can't continue with this kind of behavior where you think to yourself, okay, well, I'm just going to do whatever the hell the girl wants to keep her around. You haven't got to... See, this guy thinks he's got a wife. He doesn't have a wife. He absolutely doesn't have a wife. This is not something that, you know, open relationships are not something that you do in a marriage. It is not something that you do in a marriage, guys. Like, this is some 2022 bullcrap right here, isn't it? I have also come to another sad realization about myself. I no longer love my wife as a romantic partner, perhaps not for a long time. That's why my emotions when she went to that guy for the first time was not even jealousy, but just sadness. I had realized that my relationship is over, but I lacked the required self-awareness, I would change this to self-respect, to actually say something to my wife. And it's the reason why I fell in love with my girlfriend so easily. I was essentially single. I will always care for my wife, but I can't be in a relationship with her any longer. Now, regarding my relationship with my girlfriend, maybe it will last long, or maybe it will fizzle out the next few months. I know I will land on my feet in either scenario. I will talk to my wife tonight when she comes home about divorce. And I know she will be heartbroken, but I see no other way forward. Even if we go back to being a monogamous couple, we will be one of those couples who don't love each other but are staying together because it's easier than divorcing. Anyways, I want to thank everyone who took the time to give advice to me. It's deeply appreciated. Now, guys, check out this comment right here, okay? It's a sad situation, and this is from a woman named Jane the Queen, okay? And Queen is spelled incorrectly. It's a sad situation in many ways, but you've gained a good measure of self-awareness and some direction in your life. Before, you were drifting along, just going with the flow, and that wasn't in your best interest. Now you have the opportunity to move more deliberately towards a better life. If the relationship with your girlfriend does fizzle out, I recommend spending some time on your own, just single. That can give you a lot of good perspective too. Good luck to you. I don't know why society is treating it as though, you know, having an open relationship, especially in a marriage, is something that's respectable. Okay, I don't, you know, there are dudes out there, man, that unironically they're with, you know, they're with a girl, and then the girl has like 3 other boyfriends, and they're like, yeah, I'm in an open relationship. That makes me strong. No, it makes you disgusting, is what it makes you. Guys, we're going to leave today's episode there. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments to some of the clownery that we covered in today's show. And as always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you boys in the next one. Peace.